What's up, weekend warriors, and welcome to the week 10 edition of the show. I had to use this backdrop today. My wife is crazy, and she decided that Halloween's over. We're not hosting Thanksgiving this year. So we are putting up the Christmas tree. So we got Santa here, right over here. We got the tree going. This is actually my second tree in the basement. I have my other tree up in the living room is up as well. So we're a little crazy. And we're running and gunning. I even forgot to put my jersey on today. It's a throwback. I'll show you guys who we have today. Todd Gurley, a staple of my fantasy team back in the day in this league. I drafted him his rookie year. And I love Todd Gurley. Talk about a guy who kind of fell off. But yeah, we got it on, and we're back for week 10. So we had a special guest kind of lined up, but some stuff fell through, a little bit of crazy schedules. I can tell you right now, we have someone penciled in. I actually just changed it to blue ink pen for next week. We'll see if we can keep that going, if the commission can keep it going. Tooth is better. Feeling good. Got the stitches out. No ailments. So let's roll into the recap from week 9. So the recap from week 9, I'm going to start with the good, man. 3 in a row Thursday night picks for the King. It's been a slow start. It's been a rocky start. I have not been good. I'm 6-12 on the season. That's because I got my Colts -3 pick wrong. That was my other pick. 2 in a row losses for my other pick on the pod. But 3 in a row for Thursday night. And just some quick math. Yeah, it makes me 4-2 on my last 6 picks given out on the pod, that's progress, baby. But Thursday night, the King is back, and I'm feeling good about my pick tonight. We'll talk about it here in a little bit. My fantasy picks. I had Terry over Jake. That happened. Jake's still in his abysmal spiral right now. There's word on the street. Can he come in last 2 years in a row? He was texting me saying that would really, be a dagger to his ego of knowing ball if he comes in last 2 years in a row. Fantasy, man, it's killer. I had Booty over Seavel. That was correct. So 2-0. I had Kevin over Otley. That was incorrect. That was the only one I got wrong. Otley, 3 in a row. Highest win streak in the league. Dean over Chris. That was correct. Dean had a nice week. He was the high scorer of the week for the second week this year. He's up to $50 accumulated in high scores. And then Brett over me. I hate to say I saw it coming. I did see it coming. Brett took me down. I did make it close, maybe a little closer than he would have liked with some of my backup running backs. But credit to Brett. He's got a very, very strong squad. He takes down the commish. Beats me off my 6 in a row record. Still in first, but clinging. We'll talk about it. 4-1 on the week, 25-20 on the season. So we'll talk about the standings real quick. I'm not like to do a standings update every week. I did one last week, but one thing I think you guys might find interesting, go to the playoff percentage. I don't know how they come up with this, if it's strength of schedule the rest of the year, if it's, projected points in certain situations, but just one thing I want to highlight. Booty and Brett, both Booty 6-3, Brett 5-4, second and third respectively. Booty 79% chance to make the playoffs, Brett 73, and it has me at 63. So I don't think it likes maybe some of the guys on my team. I just lost Tucker Kraft to the ACL. So it's interesting how it kind of comes up with that. And Otley at 56%, Kevin at 46%. So 5 teams really, I guess, in the master hunt. And then you got 21% for Terry, 28% for Dean, 17% for Chris, 12% for Valone, and 6% for Jake. I don't know if I put too much stock into this, though, because the power rankings that they did at the beginning of the year, you can look at those also. Jake was 1. He's now 10. I was 9. I'm now 3. Booty was 10. He's now 1. So, don't put too much stock in it. Here's some advice. If you're lower on the standings, try to win a game 1 week at a time. Get yourself back in it. That's what Otley did, and now he's in position. So waiver wire this week, not a lot of crazy stuff. I paid up a little bit for Loveland since I needed a tight end. Turns out no one else bid. Let me see if I can look at some recent activity here. Otherwise, $10 bid for Singletary from Ott. My pickup of Tracy doesn't look too great. Otley also picked up Pierce for 12. So a couple moves there for Ott, who has some bye week issues. So week 10, here we go. I'll give my Thursday night pick. All day and yesterday, I think about this, man. I don't have anything else to think about. No work, no kids, nothing going on. So I just had plenty of time to think about my picks. I'm like, Broncos play games tight. Raiders have been better, a little spunky last week in their overtime loss against Jacksonville. I'm like, they're going to keep it close. Divisional game. Read some stats. Stats can be the devil, but Bo Nix is 10-0 as a home favorite in the Bo Nix era. That doesn't really matter because you got to cover 8.5 is the line. But I just thought more and more that Sean Payton is a guy who will take away the other team's best player. Last week, Jacksonville didn't do that. Brock Bowers kind of came out and did whatever he wants. The Raiders have no receivers. They just traded Jacoby Myers. Geno has looked horrible all year. He had one good game coming out of the bye. And the Broncos have 40 sacks on the season. They're on pace to break the sack record. The next highest team is the Lions with 28. They're going to take away Bowers. I know Surtain isn't playing, which is a little bit of a concern, but they don't have a receiver, so there's no lockdown corner necessary. They're going to take away Bowers. They're going to stop the run. They're going to sack the quarterback, and they're going to cover 8.5. I think 27-17 is a possibility. I think 38-10 is a possibility. If the Raiders keep it close, hats off to them. But I'm taking the Broncos to roll -8.5 tonight. All right, so let's get into my fantasy picks. We've been better. You can see it. If I pick you on this pod, you have a good chance of winning. We're going to start with Seaval versus Terry. Terry quietly won 2 in a row. Valone quietly lost 2 in a row. He's in a dark place. He texted me. It's sad. He's the agitator. He's not able to agitate anybody but himself. Jonathan Taylor, Quinshon Dunkins, Justin Jefferson, Ladd McConkey, Garrett Wilson coming back, Jackson Dart, who looks very, very spunky. How is this team 3-6? Well, one of the reasons is he leads the league in points against, so that won't help him. He actually, from a points for perspective, has more points than Ott, has more points than Kevin, has more points than Terry. He actually has more points than everybody in the league besides the top 3 teams. Actually, man, I better be careful saying this. He's got more points than Booty. Valone, you're getting schedule screwed here, dude. Your team's not that bad. That means you can make a run. And as good as Terry's been to kind of bounce back, no Jaden Daniels again. No Dak, who's on bye. Currently no quarterback in the lineup. He will get Puka back, but Ramondre's still hurt. No Pearsall. Spears on bye. Hunt on bye. Man, James Cook is questionable. Terry's team is just a story of injuries. It's a credit to him that he's won the last 2, but Valone gets back in the win column here. The agitator takes down Terry and moves up in the standings. Watch out for Valone. We just fact-checked some things that I just learned on the spot about his points on the season. Moving on to the next matchup, I have Brett and Jake. Jake, 3 in a row. We're not going to dwell on it. He's lost 3 in a row. Brett, Booty's joked around with him that he can be coronated already. It's coronation day. He's won the championship. Everybody celebrate Brett. We all know better than anything can happen, but Brett's team at this moment in time is a juggernaut. He's the Week 10 champion, even though he's in 3rd. It is true. Lamar, number 1, maybe number 2 quarterback. Dowdle's been ridiculous. Henry's still good. Egbuka, Njigba, Rashee Rice. Yes, he's on bye, but just studs coming out of his ears. Kittle's been bad, but he'll clean it up. Brett's on a good path here. And listen, Jake is not. He asked me, how is his team 3-6? That's what I just said about Valone. On paper, Barkley, Kyron. BTJ hasn't done it for you. Zay's been just okay. Diggs is feast or famine. Mahomes has been good, but he's been having to carry. If Jake is going to beat Brett this week, it's going to be a Drake May masterclass. It's going to be a Barkley Monday night performance. It's going to be a Marvin Harrison game with Jacoby Brissett now at the helm. He seems to be getting targeted a lot more. I'm taking Brett. It's an easy decision, but maybe Jay can pull the upset. All right, next matchup is Kevin versus Chris. Chris is in danger zone, we're going to say. He's in yellow-orange flag right now. 2 in a row losses. He needs to right the ship. Higgins on bye, Pollard on bye, Ferguson on bye. Right now, Bucky in his flex, and I don't think he's going to play. So Chris has some work to do to figure it out. Herbert's been good, and he's going to need him to be good again this week. Sutton tonight could probably have a good game, so that could be good for Chris. But Kev on the other side, another team I'm scared of. I've said it before. Gibbs and Achane. Gibbs had a bad week last week, but he'll be better. Rome had a bad week last week, but he'll be better. And then now A.J. Brown coming back off the bye and the injury. He'll be fine. Kev swindled me in the trade because of the Kraft injury. He's got Tyler Warren, and now I don't. So I like Kevin's team. As someone ahead of him in the standings, I'm worried that he will catch me. And I think he gets a win here against Chris in week 10. So maybe no surprises so far in my predictions. Which brings me to my matchup of the week is Booty versus Ott. We talked about Ott. He's hot. I'm not Dr. Seuss, but there's another rhyme there somewhere. Maybe Tater Tot. Who knows? Booty. We talked about it. CMC carrying the team. He's going to get Swift back, which sucks because I got Manon guy who I really, really like. Had a nice week last week. Amon-Ra. Samuel with no. Jaden, though, not as strong. Addison with McCarthy now. See what he does. And the 2 tight end system here between McBride and Gadsden. They're studs. Great pickup by Booty on Gadsden. Darnold or Mayfield, which way will he go? Darnold's been hot. Mayfield's the guy he traded for. See what happens there. On the other side, Otley. Tough week, though. No Lamb, no Worthy. His receivers, Trey Tucker and Alec Pierce, that's pretty dicey. Olave, solid, and now no Shaheed. Bowers, man. What do you have? 50 points last week, the highest scoring fantasy performing player, quarterback. Wide receiver, running back, tight end, didn't matter. He scored the most points. He is not going to do that against Denver tonight. You heard my reasoning earlier. I have written down Ott over Booty, and I'm going to stick with it. I think Dobbins on Thursday night gets it off to a good start. I think Hurts in Green Bay on Monday night. He's good for a tush push or two. Montgomery against Washington should do well. Josh Jacobs in that Monday Night Football game too. This is the matchup for the week for a reason. 2 good teams. Booty's been rolling. He's had a fortunate schedule, it seems, from my analysis of his points scored on the season. And I think that's good, and he's rolling. I think both these teams are good, probably both playoff teams. I'm glad one of them will lose this week. Maybe one of them will tie. But I'm taking Ott to beat Booty to make the standings even more interesting. Which brings me to the matchup of the week runner-up, myself versus my dad. My dad's team, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. He lost 3 in a row. Now he's back after a huge win and high-scoring performance of the week last week. London is such a stud, man. Him and Bijan overseas at 9:30 could tear me to shreds. Josh Allen against the Dolphins. I am so scared of that matchup. Devontae Adams, 5 touchdowns in 2 games. That's not too bad. 3 in one game, 2 in the next. Kincaid's been phenomenal. My dad's team is super solid. How is this team 4-5 is the question. He's had, some injuries. London had the 1 game he missed, some bye week issues here and there. This is a good team. It's better than its record. Me came out last week, did something uncharacteristic, predicted myself to lose. Unfortunately, I was right. We talked about it. I have some better matchups this week and some worse matchups this week. I was really hoping Breece Hall got traded. He's going to stay on his dumpster fire team. Metcalf, 2 catches for 6 yards last week. That sucked. My team is worse without Tucker Kraft. I'm trying to plug a hole with London. I have Pickens and Chase on bye. I picked up Flacco. He was amazing. He tried to save me last week, didn't do it. I'm turning back to Bo Nix this week. I do have a makeshift roster. I'm starting Jamison Williams, who has been not so great. Keenan Allen, who's had single-digit performances in his last five out of his last 6 games. But I'm hoping maybe Tyrone Tracy can do better this week. Maybe Ramondre will be out and I can start Travion again. I really need Hampton back. I really need Benson back. I need Chase and Pickens back from bye. I'll be honest, I don't feel great about this week either. And I really need these bye week players to get back next week so I can continue to make my run and stay near the top of the standings. But I'm taking myself to beat my dad. I'm making a stand. Last week, I felt worse. This week, I feel a little better. I'm going to take them down. Hopefully, the Colts shut down the Falcons in London, and that's like game is like 3-2, maybe a safety, maybe a field goal. I'm taking myself. It starts with Bo Nix tonight. Let's get it done, Bo. All right, my other pick, Washington, Detroit, over 48.5. Still a high total, even without Jaden. I think this game would go one or two ways. Detroit doesn't look good again, like last week when the Vikings beat them and Washington scores enough points and it's close, or Detroit scores 48, which sometimes they do because they're the Lions and they're pissed off and they want to come back and make a statement. Either way, I like the over 48.5. Guys, next week, special guest. Next week's week 11. The playoffs are like a month away. I have my Christmas tree up. What is going on? I don't know. The year's flying by. And, man, fantasy football is fun. Guys, good luck. I wish you the best. Go Broncos. Yes, and Todd Gurley. I hope you're watching. See ya.